Hello, Mindsetters. Welcome to today's Grade 11 Life Sciences show. Today we have a special revision lesson on human nutrition. We have selected highlights from lessons shown earlier in the term to help you revise. Please post your comments and questions on our Facebook page on facebook.com/learnextra or on Twitter @learnextra so we can help you with your revision. You can also download the notes for today's show from learn.mindset.co.za or click on the link on our Facebook page. Now it's time to get on with today's lesson.
What have we been studying? Can you remember? What have we been studying?
Insides.
The insides. Well, I know that we've put on the page in that. When I did this, I had to get rid of the lungs and the heart and the all those nice things. And I've got some pictures of the lungs and the heart, and I've also put a picture of a full bladder uterus.
Uterus,
It's going to be
no.
nice.
Wow.
So,
Do you want to tell Luni how big this thing was when we fetched it yesterday? And
Lily,
what
this
we got?
was 7-something kilograms.
Yeah, no, it was 11 kilograms.
11 kilograms, yeah.
It was a big
Yeah, huge like this.
pile like this. Lungs,
Heart, everything.
liver, spleen, intestines. So we
And it's
spent
a
yesterday
pig.
afternoon cutting it up in the garden.
I can imagine.
Which is fun.
Yeah,
of course.
of course.
So, what we're going to start with is we're going to just chuck it on you. Well, I don't want to just
Actually,
chuck
I don't
it.
know, because I don't know how much water
Okay,
I've got rid of.
so let's have we're going to pull it out piece by piece. How's that? Okay,
idea.
so let's move this to your side. There we go. And now it's on the side over here. I saw it.
Ah, look at this.
Okay, let's pull the whole thing out slowly but surely.
Trying to.
Let's see if we
Then got
can.
a bit
Is it
tangled.
frozen?
Sorry.
No,
No.
it's just really cold. I had to put ice in to make sure it didn't smell
Yes.
even
Oof,
worse.
look at this.
Look at all these.
Doesn't smell that bad.
No, see, the trick is Vicks.
Yeah, clearly.
You don't have Vicks, Zambac will work too.
Oh, look at this.
Mm.
Yeah, baby. Look at all of this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Something's quite heavy down here. We don't want to tear it.
Definitely not.
Whoa, slowly.
Still got it.
Oh my
Let's
goodness.
pull this all out.
This is like the most humongous pig I've ever seen.
Ah, there we go. That's before we've got all the funny things on that side. Oh, yes, I remember that. This is the last piece. I cut this off specially, right? And
Is that the tongue?
no, this is the spleen. Hey, have a look at this.
It's
This is the
supposed to be this
spleen.
long.
Yeah.
So it's not a tongue, it's a spleen. Do you know what a spleen does?
Red blood cells. All I remember is that a spleen and red blood cells go together. Doesn't it break down the red blood cells?
That's it, yeah. And then this here is very important. Looney, what is this?
The
Let me
liver.
put that back in. What do you think this is?
The liver.
The liver. Feel how nice it is.
Where's
hey?
the bile? You see, remember I had my
Look at this.
friend.
Where's the bowel? Let's turn it around.
And is this the bile?
That's the
gallbladder.
gallbladder.
Oh,
Don't
man,
squeeze too much. It's the gallbladder, but what do we find
Inside
inside
the gallbladder is the
bile
bile.
that gets made in the?
In the liver.
Whoa!
Can you see? I don't know if you can see here.
Oh, there's a hole.
If you stick a finger in there, it'll go. It should go all the way in.
Oh, geez.
To this
Yeah,
part.
so there it is.
Maybe
So
you
if
can
you,
try the needle.
oh, stick it in there. Let's see what
It'll
happens.
go all the way in.
Can you get it? Can you get it?
It's going a little bit narrow.
There it is.
There.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Well, there it is. I don't know. All the way, and it's all the way up to here. There, it's nice and hard. But this is just. We'll get to this. Hey?
Okay.
Let's put this
Why
one
is the liver
side.
so big?
Can we put
Alrighty,
that
yep, there we
back
go.
in there? Right. Now, we're going to start off right from the beginning. Okay. When we start off from the beginning, we start with what part? With digestion. The mouth. Right. So we've put in the mouth, and I've shown you all the bones and the teeth and all of that. Right. And from there, we get to the part that it goes down. So look here. It's called the
Esophagus.
eh?
Esophagus.
Esophagus. Very nice.
I
You
was going
see,
to say throat.
it's very important that she does this.
I'm
right.
trying
And
here.
it's good. That means you've learned. Right. So if you have a look, this part is the esophagus. Right. There it is. Okay. So this whole thing here
is it
is
so
esophagus.
long?
This is just below the neck. Right. This is where they cut it. And what do you think this
Why
is,
is this
Tara?
so hard?
Take a guess. What do you think that is?
Above.
I know what this is. This
Let's see how clever
is
she is.
the voice box.
Oh.
Very nice. That's it. And
Because there's something here. There's like a hard pipe here.
yeah, now this thing where you stuck your finger in, if you have a look, there's a thing that you stick your finger in. Stick your finger in there. Right. That part there, what do you think, where do you think that piece will go? It's actually got, if I cut this out, there, see, these things are sharp.
Going from the voice box, it must go down to your lungs.
Yeah. Okay, so here it's got these hard things, right? And they C-shaped. Hey?
Ah, is that because this was
C-shaped.
attached? This was
Oh,
attached
it's
on
that
the
thing,
back.
yeah.
Oh,
It's that
this was
thing
in
you
the back.
did, yeah, that part.
And it joins the things that go,
yes.
That's
yeah.
it.
But here, what comes out of here? Where does this go to?
You're like,
Clever girl goes, see, she's brilliant.
you just need to give me hints.
Just
I'll
hints.
try.
Right. So it's got the C-shaped cartilage to keep it open. Right. So let's carry on. Now you got to understand this is going to be quite
Okay,
difficult.
wait. What's that?
Oh, that's blood.
Okay, where does that come from? Just because we cut it up?
Just because we cut it up. It's in the
Isn't
fat.
there like a important
Yes.
like blood vessel near
It's
this?
a very important blood vessel.
Blood vessel.
Blood vessel. Yeah.
Carries lots of
It
blood.
carries lots and lots of blood.
Yeah.
Lots
Because
of
where's it
blood.
going to go? It's going to
This is going
up to the head. No, it
From the
comes from
heart?
the heart. Yes.
Okay.
Very nice. It comes from the heart. And where does it go?
it's going to go up to the brain.
It's going to go up to the brain.
So it will be either be your aorta or your jugular vein.
Jugular vein.
How was
or-
I supposed to know that?
No, we're telling you. So what do you
Okay.
think it would be?
Huh?
Okay, it's blood vessel. It's okay.
Blood
Okay,
vessel's
it's
good
fine.
enough for me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay,
It's
so what I'm
fine.
going to do is this is called the esophagus, and it goes all the way down to this bag over here, which is called.
Your stomach.
That's it.
So
So
Lenny was doing this.
yeah, what is that, Looney? What's this movement?
It's the man.
Yes, remember it squeezes here and it relaxes here and it squeezes here.
Yes.
It's peristalsis.
I didn't know the name. I just knew the
Yes.
movement.
Feel this. Feels quite hard.
Yeah, leathery actually.
Well, we're going to have a look
Okay,
inside it.
so now
Okay.
remember how that feels.
Okay.
Because when we get onto these ones, you'll see if they feel
The
the, same
difference.
or different.
Okay.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece off just so that it's gone, right? And I'm going to cut piece by piece. So,
Let me put it.
Tara, if you
away.
can please, Looney, hold there for me. I'm just going to cut this away so that we've got that. You can put the stomach down for now.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Cut it right down the middle, if I can get it. Maybe a pair of scissors would work better. Come on. There we go. How you doing there?
I don't know which side you're starting, but
Okay.
we might.
No,
have a bit
wait,
of a
hold on.
twist.
Look at this. Look at the difference. You can see that there's this pink stuff on the outside, and then there's a white stuff. Can you see it, Luna? There's pink stuff on the outside, and then
The
that
white.
white stuff. What do you think that white stuff is, and what do you think the pink stuff is? Hey? I mean, what makes the food go down? What movement did we say?
Peri something.
Peristalsis.
Yes.
Now, the movement, peristalsis, is actually the muscles that's
Oh.
contracting and relaxing that in a, what's it called?
Rhythmic motion.
That's it, rhythmic motion, rhythmic movement of antagonistic muscles, right? So when the one contracts, the other one relaxes. So what I've done is, if you've seen, I've actually split it open, okay? So you'll see the white, and then you'll see the pink, okay? Now that white is where the food travels down, right?
Are these
And the
pieces of
pink
food?
part, that's it. And the pink part is actually the muscles that are going through the peristalsis movement,
Okay.
pushing the food down that white pipe over there. Okay, so this pipe here is very, very important. Okay, and you'll notice that there's two different layers. You get the muscle layer, and then you get the pipe itself.
Okay.
Hey, how cool is that?
Very cool.
I think that's awesome. Right.
Is that the same part? Why does it
That's
look?
it.
That's
I've
it.
Just
I've
open it.
Yeah,
I've
she
split
just
them
opened it up for us.
Oh.
right now, so you could see them together there. And
And
then I
then-
just cut them apart.
oh,
so this
okay.
part is where the food goes down.
Yeah.
Feel it. It's also nice and soft and slimy.
Where the muscle is not as bad.
And then that was the hard part that you felt that was the muscle.
Okay.
Cool, huh?
Yes. This.
Cut it off. Watch
Just
your
mind
fingers.
your fingers.
Mind your fingers.
There you go.
That's
We
it.
don't want to
Okay.
go to the
So
hospital.
now we've got the stomach. Right.
Okay.
So if you have a look, if I squeeze the stomach, it's still got stuff in it because they feed them before we get this, right? So let's see if I can get. Remember, oh, I can definitely. She has a lot of fun. Okay, Lily, what I want you to do is I want you to cut it
Okay.
down like that for me.
Okay.
It would
Ew.
be easier. Cut this piece here. Let me do this first.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, everything's going to go everywhere, hey? Because
Yes.
it's leaning
Okay.
down.
And then what I want you to do is take a pair of scissors, if you can see.
And then cut which
Cut
way?
this way and that way. Let's go all the
This
way.
way.
Let's see what you can give us here. Cut.
Move the bucket to catch it.
Yeah, because all the stuff is going
That's
to
going
come
to run
out.
down onto the floor.
How you doing there?
Good.
Let me hold
We'll
that
make a-
side.
We'll make a.
We'll make a surgeon over here.
Oh, check at that. Cut. Come on, you've always
maybe
wanted to
this-
grab the knife if
yeah.
you think the knife is going to be better. Well, the scalpel. Oh, check how
Cutting
check how
everything
sharp.
like straight through.
Straight through, all the way.
Careful, no?
Go. I can see the blade.
So we've
And
got
this part.
Yeah, cut.
we've got a butcher in the making, yeah?
Yes, I'm so
go.
excited. Woo!
Okay, so let me get my hands across. Yeah. Oh, let's go.
Okay, wait, don't you
Okay,
wanna
let's
show them
let's show what's inside. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Look at this. Cut that piece there.
Which piece?
You.
Oh,
This
this
piece.
piece.
That's it. Okay, so I'll grab there. Look at all of that. Okay, that is digestive juices. You can see the stomach's done its work. It is beautiful.
Okay, can we
Right?
empty it out now?
Okay, so let's just empty it. I'm going to put it in the bucket here. Wait, let's get that liver out, Looney. Can you get the liver out there at the bottom?
Okay.
Where are we going to
Because
put it?
Just here
On
the
the
top.
side?
Just put it up here somewhere.
give me
So
that.
that we can actually get. Oh,
Oh,
here it
oops,
runs.
sorry.
That's a good girl. You catch. Okay, so I'm going to take this down here. I'm going to empty this out in the bucket. Right, there it is.
Mind your
Throw it
head.
all out.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
about to say.
Can you
You're
imagine
about
that
to
all
get the
over me?
best hair shampoo in the world.
Oh, that'll stink.
No, really. Mind your
Yeah.
head.
It's coming soon, hey?
It's coming your way.
Okay, that's good enough.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Oh, yo, that's
The sound.
beautiful. Right, we made sure that we had it messy today. Right, so there's the stomach. Okay, and the last thing that it ate, you can have a look. Look how different color it is. The outside is this pinky, nice color. The inside, it's got this yellowy color. Now, that yellowy color isn't actually muscle, right? You've heard your mom and them talking about your stomach lining, hey? Yeah. Can you remember stomach lining? Now, that's a stomach lining. That stops, right, the hydrochloric acid from eating the muscles, because what does hydrochloric acid do? It helps with the protein, right? Can you remember that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it slightly in the middle, yeah?
Is that why it's slimy? Because
Yes,
it's not
I mean,
stopping
it's-
the digestion.
It's slimy as you have no
Ah,
idea.
clever.
And look at this. There is the stomach lining. I'm trying to pull. Now, normally you do not pull, but
No.
I like showing you things. This is,
This is what people call tripe in sheep. And
Yes.
this is the
Okay.
tripe. Now, this is the stomach lining. Look at the difference. Right? You see how nice and white that is? And then look at creamy and yucky and ugly this is.
Why is this folded like that? Why?
Why would you think
Is
it's folded,
this-
Looney? Because folding is very important. Because remember that your stomach is like this. And what is it going to do when you've eaten?
Digest.
It's going to stretch, isn't
Oh,
it?
stretch.
Isn't it going to stretch? So it
Yes.
needs to become bigger.
Oh,
so it's folded.
it's got all these
That's it.
other
But
parts.
also,
Oh, that's clever.
this part here is nice and hard. You feel it?
Yes.
So it creates a nice big skin so that it can do that muscle churning stuff.
That's
Right. It's awesome. I mean, I'm just going to
What's
tear
this?
now, but
It's
now,
the same. It looks like this.
it's
Oh,
exactly the
it's
same. It's just got digestion. Let's understand that digestion does take place in the stomach, but not much.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
this is the one that goes to the small
Ah.
intestine.
Now watch this carefully. If
Okay.
I have a look, there's the inside part. Okay, I'm going to try and get my finger through there. There we go. That's where it came from, the esophagus. Can you see? That's where it came from, the esophagus. Then it goes into the stomach, and it churns, and then it comes out through there, right? Now, if you have a look, Looney, look how nice and big that feels. Feel this
Yes.
muscle here. Feel it. Stick your finger in there. Let's see. Feel how tight it feels. You can only stick a finger in, hey?
Yes.
Even though it looks
I'm
nice
gonna
and
do my
big,
whole hand.
you can't stick it in because it's
glove.
nice and tight. That muscle actually holds it. Right. So that there is your stomach. I hope you like that. I think that was a lot of fun.
Very
Look at the
cool.
blood vessels in there, because remember that there's muscles. This is a big muscle. Right.
And this on the outside of this is fat.
Yes. That's
So all the
because-
organs have got fat around them.
Exactly. And they've actually got this special layer that we cut off, right? There's the fat. We've got this special layer. Do you know what it's called, Tara? That layer that keeps everything together.
That keeps all the organs inside.
All the organs in
It's-
one piece.
It's a peritoneum or peritonium or something
That's
like that.
it. Very nice. I'm going to put this away. Now, this is where digestion actually takes place. This is where you find those funny things called villi, right? And this is where you get all your different, your pancreatic juices and your bowel and all
And
of
it's
that.
not-
Oh, whoa,
Whoa, what's
what-
this?
What's
but
that?
understand, this is still part, but now have a look at this. Looney, look how cool this is. It's still the small intestine. So let's hold it up there. You hold it up nicely for me, right?
Oh, look, there's more here.
Have a look at that.
Cool.
what does that tell you? What does that show you?
It looks like
What's
fat.
that red stuff? And have a good look. If you go nice and close, look at the small intestine, look at the blood vessels.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's what that is.
Yeah.
Those are the blood vessels coming in closer. But if you have a good look at the blood vessels in there. Why would there be so
Got
many
stuff,
blood vessels?
sorry.
You rub on me, girl. That's what that's for.
Yeah.
Why would you have those blood vessels?
In your small intestine
Yes.
to carry blood.
And what does the blood carry? All the?
Doesn't this is absorption? Doesn't that happen here? So it's not
Yes.
just digestion, but it's absorption.
It's
Like all the
absorption.
good stuff goes into the body from here.
Okay.
So all the blood vessels are picking up everything.
Okay.
And that's where we want to go with it. And that's what that is. It's the blood vessels. Right. So it's quite cool. So let's carry on. I hope you're enjoying this. We're still going. This is still small intestine.
And I was asking, like, where's it ending?
Ah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
So
This
cool.
is small intestine. All of this is just the small intestine. Hey? What more could you want?
Wait, we're nearly done.
Almost done. Yeah, I can see it's almost done. And that's where it ends. This here is the small intestine. Ooh, that's quite cool. Can I cut it off here? I'm going to cut a piece off, right, before the large intestine. Because when we cut the large intestine, it smells beautiful. Let's start it off. Remember, small intestine, can you remember? Now we've got the large intestine. Now, let's have a look how
Question.
large it is first. Oh,
Is this the, what do you call that thing? People like get infected and then they have to have it cut it out?
the
Appendix. Or is that in the small intestine?
Where the small the appendix is just after the small
So
intestine.
is this the appendix? Because it like goes the wrong way.
It does, doesn't it?
Because like here's the pipe, and then you've got this little bit. So I'm guessing that's the appendix.
That is the appendix.
Why is it
Wow.
so big?
I was gonna say, if you imagine if you get appendicitis,
Yeah.
that's a big op.
That's a big op.
That's Anna.
Huh? Feel it though.
And
Let's check.
why is it so big?
What's it's supposed to digest? What does
It's
it do in
actually
animals?
plant matter.
Plant matter.
Plant matter.
So it should actually be
Is
right
our
for
appendix
animals.
this big as well?
Yes. No, ours is a little
No.
bit smaller because
Smaller.
we don't use
We
it.
don't
anymore.
use it as much.
Okay.
eh?
Okay, but now remember, the blue whale. How many kilometers? Five
Five.
kilometers of this. Let's see how long ours is.
Woo! Just careful because there's bits and
Oh, there's
sneaking out
broken
here.
pieces
Juice
already.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
That's as long as ours. Right, so let's take it back and let's have a look. Now, in the beginning,
This piggy didn't go to the bathroom.
I'm sure it
Luna?
didn't.
you ready, my girl?
You can
Yes.
feel them here.
Okay, hold the bottom piece.
Okay.
Let's cut. Oh, yes, baby. Okay. Now, look how green it is.
We should
Now
have
we're
done-
starting to look at feces.
We should have done. We should have done an extra swipe of fixes.
Because now it's starting to smell.
This is what it is. Look at that. Hey, look at those juices.
Okay, so now it's gone from yellow to green.
To green.
Yes.
Okay, so
Wow.
now this is all the stuff that we don't use anymore. And there's look here, there's still a lot of liquid in the
No,
bottom.
but hang on.
Ah, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. It gets because look at it. Look how watery it is. I want you to have a good look how watery it is. Okay, and it's very watery in the beginning. This is still the appendix,
Okay, so
right?
that's the beginning
This
part.
is the beginning part.
Ah.
Now, as we move along, I will open nice parts for you just now. I'm going to just throw
No,
in
because
here.
I was going to say you said that's all watery, but at the
No.
end here it's not watery. It's
No.
quite solid.
As we're moving across,
The
it's
process.
still watery. But now feel here, Lini. Feel there, and start feeling
Oh yeah,
as it
no,
comes.
yeah. Then it
Or
starts
can you
getting
feel
to
that
the real
now?
Oh yeah,
stuff.
no, listen.
Yeah.
I figured out that this little piggy did not go to the
Okay,
bathroom.
so let's look at this. We're going to cut this piece here. Okay, go, Lini.
So where am I cutting?
There, right there.
Here.
Cut, be gentle, huh?
No, well, too late. It's going to smell bad anyway.
Oh, go, cut.
Right,
Okay,
piggy
TJ one
feces.
side.
Okay, pig feces. Here we go.
Oh, baby, that smells beautiful. Now, that there is the pig feces. Now, feel
Ugh.
it's watery, but it's not
It's
as
there.
watery
You know what? It
Solid.
actually does not smell as bad.
as I thought it would be.
Okay, except when you do that.
Yeah.
If you stick it close to your nose, I think it's going to smell quite bad.
You can't take it anywhere. Right, so this is, it's not as watery, have you noticed? Okay, so it's not as watery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that there. Okay, I'm going to squeeze a little bit more out here.
Okay.
Sorry, Looney. You're right, sweetie.
Yeah, fine.
You on
She
the
wanted
arse
to stick-
end of this today.
She stuck her nose in there.
Right? So we've got
I
that.
shouldn't have done that. eh?
No.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of liquid here.
No.
Just
You're
so you can
comparing.
Okay.
comparing
You're
it.
trying to get the smell like really great.
Comparing the difference. Come on. It's coming.
Wait, where's it?
There it is.
Oh, my
Okay.
word.
So there's the
Oh, but
difference.
hang on. So if that's watery, that's not so watery, and then we've got some special, very not watery at the end here.
Yeah, well.
Does that mean the water's disappearing? Is
Ooh,
that what the large
that is
intestine's
it.
for?
Exactly. Looney, cut you for me, sweetie. Let's see. Large intestine does Absorption
absorbs
of?
water.
water.
Yeah, I should have
So
remembered
look
that.
at this one. Look how much more dry that is.
Like I can just hold it and put it down.
You just put it down.
You
No,
could
you see,
just
you
put
want
it
this
down.
one. That's already like in little
Okay, so
balls.
there's the next part. So if you have a good look at it. Now, understand this is the point of life science, right? Look at the difference.
Process.
Okay, liquid,
process.
more liquid. Well, not as liquid, a little bit more, right? And
Is there
then
like a
cut there.
solid part?
This one's like really near the end. Wait,
No,
maybe we
let's
can
do
actually
the-
squeeze it out here.
Let's see if we can get the softer
there.
parts. Oh, look at that, Looney.
No, just holding this like a rock.
That's it. Look at that. The last piece that I
But
want
this
you.
has got muscles.
This has got more muscles and everything. But remember, we had that dry pieces, right? That was as dry. Oh, seriously.
Look, I
Hold
think,
that tight, Looney.
yeah, I think the different feces might have scared the scissors.
That's it. Now look at this. Look how hard that is.
What is that?
It's feces.
Oh,
This is right at the end. Look how hard that is.
What
just
did you
checking.
think
I don't know.
Hey, that's right at the end. Okay? And I'm going to take it all the way to here. This is still.
Oh, I remember now.
Do you
Now
remember that one?
remember. Ah. Now this is where this whole piece, this here, nice and thick. Feel those muscles in there, right?
Mm.
It's a very important thing that.
She's
Yeah. You'll notice that this,
This is not quite as muscular as that
Yeah.
end bit.
feel how soft this is,
Oh yeah, and
and
this one
feel
is
how
quite
muscular that
tough.
is. That's very tight.
What's this?
That's the
There's
feces.
more of those.
And you can those pellets, and you'll notice that when it comes out, it's pellets
Oh.
in pigs.
Yeah, I was just
Right?
about to say, why is it round?
There we go. So it makes it into balls. Look at that. That's his feces, and they're hard. They're not soft like the other ones. Okay.
This is
Now my favorite part. I love this. This is what you will eat.
So if you eat pork, that's your roast for tonight.
Yeah. This
Or
is
like your chops.
in this area.
Yeah, the ramp.
the rump. There it is. So hold it for me, please, Lena.
So that's
Nice
all
and tight.
muscle. So that's nice eating meat.
Mm.
Okay, so there's
Pork
the
chops.
muscle. This is your pork chops and
Oh.
your everything, right?
Sorry,
Right
you
close to the
probably-
bum.
Right
you
by
prob-
the
you
bum.
probably
Yeah.
don't want to eat pork chops again after
Yeah,
this.
I didn't know
And
it
then,
was
of
close to
course,
the bum.
There is the fat. Hey, there's the fat of it. Look at that. So there's
I know
meat
we're not
that you
supposed to
eat.
eat it, but it's always nice when it's cracky.
Isn't it, eh?
It's yummy.
And then this piece is cool. Look at that. This is the hole that makes us
The exit
interesting.
point.
The exit point. It makes you. It's the part that we need. Go on, stick your finger through there. I know you want to. Right there it is. That's the part where the large intestine comes through and it ends up being in there.
So this
This-
part there, that is a sphincter, and that's the anus.
That's it.
Or is this part behind it where the muscle is the anus?
This is a sphincter. The sphincter is on the last part of the anus. It
What's a
closes
sphincter?
the anus.
Sphincter is a tight muscle,
Okay.
Okay.
tight
look
round
here.
muscle.
This, if you have a look, you see these. It's got like little grooves in it.
Yeah.
Okay, that there's the sphincter. It's a round muscle.
Okay.
Cool.
And it's
Alright.
got those grooves so that it can stretch.
Stretch
and then
out. Because it can go big, hey? I mean, it's got to push those pellets out. It's got to go nice and big. Nice and big. Look at that.
Mm.
Okay, just so it stretches out nicely.
Okay, guys, I hope you're enjoying this revision session. If you need help, remember to post on the page or send an email to helpdesk@learnextra.co.za. Now it's time to take a quick break, but don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We have some great news to pass on to you. We will be bringing you winter school from the 30th of June till the 20th of July, starting at 10 a.m. every weekday. To get the full schedule, Visit our website, learn.mindset.co.za, and look for the winter school link. Join us, it's going to be a lot of fun. But now it's time to get back to the lesson.
Where does bile go after it leaves the liver? After it leaves the liver. Well, hold on. Whoa. Bile, liver. Okay, bile is a funny, yellowy, gooey substance. Right? Now, it gets made where? In the liver. Okay, it gets made in the liver. Where do you think you would store this? Because bile actually gets put into the small intestine so that it can actually break down more and more. It's got a lot of enzymes in it. Right? So the liver makes it, stores it in this. Now, I'm going to say a name, bladder. So it's not the bladder that we get our urine in, okay? But it's a bladder.
Gallbladder.
Sorry, how much? Where did you come up with gallbladder?
Because you said bladder, and then it's not the bladder, it's the other bladder.
It's the and you telling me she has no clue what's going on.
Babe.
Hey? It's the wow! Looney, you've just impressed me like you have no idea. Right. Out of the blind side she comes in. Right. So it gets stored in the gallbladder, just for storage. So from the gallbladder, it gets pushed to where it needs. Right. Next one. Which organ, let's go, which organ is primarily responsible for protein digestion? Which organ is the first thing where protein is broken down? So let's see. Stick in the mouth. We chew, we chew, we chew, we chew, we chew. We add carbohydrates with our saliva, and that starts making it into a simple sugar. We swallow it and we send it into the what, Looney?
Stomach.
Stomach. What do we add in the stomach? There's a certain strong stuff that somebody asked me. I know somebody asked, who was it? That said there,
Ulcers.
are stomach ulcers found in the small intestines or in the stomach? Who was it?
That was Selby.
Sorry?
Selby.
Selby. You see, we do read your things. Right. Now, Selby, it's found in the stomach. Now, the reason why it's found in the stomach is because we have this thing called the stomach lining, okay? And because your stomach is protein, right? And this lining there stops the stuff from eating your stomach, okay? And the first thing that we add is this acid. Do you know what acid it is, Looney?
Acid that?
Well, what's a common acid that we always talk about? It's with an H.
H.
Yeah.
Hydrochloric.
Very nice.
Hey.
She's
Hey.
on the ball. Well, you've been studying. Right. We had hydrochloric acid in there. And if you start putting hydrochloric acid in your stomach, it starts burning the linings away if you don't put something in. That's why chewing gum is not actually good for you. It's not good for you. But even I still do it. Sometimes I'm cooked.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
Very slightly. Now and then. Hey, Lily.
Yes.
Okay, so
sometimes.
it starts in the stomach. Now, this hydrochloric acid starts breaking down the proteins. So where's the first place that proteins get broken down in? Let's have a look. Very easy, the stomach. Okay, it happens in the stomach, where mechanical and chemical digestion. That's why when you not feeling so good and you decide the quickest way, instead of going down, is to come up. You know what I'm talking about, Lenny?
What is that?
I said, if you eat something and you're not very happy with it and you're not cool,
When you throw
the
up.
quickest way, instead of going down, it comes up, right?
Yeah.
How does your throat feel? What is that? It's a burny sensation,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
That's the hydrochloric acid from your stomach that's burning you. Can you believe it? You're actually burning. And that is why, if you look at people that are bulimic, you know what bulimic is, hey? What's bulimic?
When
That's
you
it.
throw up.
When they throw up, so
When
they
they
eat
have
the
that
food and then they throw up.
disease.
Now, what actually happens is because they're throwing up all the time, they start burning their esophagus, right? So it becomes very bad for them. It's not very good to throw up all the time. Okay, so it's not a good thing. Okay, but we'll talk about diseases, I promise you. Okay, so in the stomach, we get hydrochloric acid, and that's where protein starts breaking down. Cool. Now, the next one. Okay, the next one is, where does fat digestion begin? Fat digestion. The minute I put it in my mouth, the fat is going into my salivary glands. I can taste it onto my tongue. It's sweet, it's yummy, it clogs up the arteries, which is not a good thing, right? Is that where it starts breaking down? Does fat break down in the mouth? No. Let me put it this way. The only thing that breaks down in the mouth is what, Looney? She comes out from the blind side and she knows everything. Especially when she says that sucking on a piece of bread makes a funny thing, but it actually gives you a nice taste. And I said that you were breaking down
Saliva.
the starch.
With the starch.
What breaks down in the mouth? Yeah?
Starch.
Starch, very nice. Is there anything else? No, no, not
No.
That was a I'll think
As
about it.
yeah,
I'll tell you
I'm sure.
tomorrow. It's no.
Okay.
Only starch. Okay, starch and carbohydrates. They break down in the mouth. The rest, down the esophagus, go to the stomach. That's where we're starting. Okay. Now, in the stomach, we start with proteins, right? And the proteins get broken down from the hydrochloric acid, right? From there, we open this thing called a sphincter. Do you know what a sphincter is?
I've heard that word before.
It's a beautiful word. It's a lovely word.
Isn't it a...
Yeah. Why do you? We have 3 sphincters. One, we have at the top of the stomach. One,
Isn't a sphincter an opening?
almost. So we have one at the top of the stomach, one at the bottom of the stomach, and one at the anus.
It is an opening
It's
then.
an opening, but it's not the opening. A sphincter is a thing that can do this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what is it?
Sphincter.
What moves, opens and closes? And you can force it closed and you can force it open. What do you think it is?
Hmm?
Yeah. Looney, show me how strong you are, my girl. What do you have on each arm?
Guns.
Guns.
Sorry, I had to. What? Muscles.
Muscles. What is this thing called?
Muscle.
It's a muscle. What type of muscle?
Hey. Retract and...
No, that's, what's this?
Sphincter. Circle.
It's a round muscle.
Wow.
A sphincter is a round muscle found at the top of your stomach, bottom of your stomach, and by your anus. Right.
Okay.
We happy, Looney?
Very happy.
Good. So it's one. There's a gun on top of your stomach, one at the bottom of your stomach, and one by your
Got
anus.
guns anywhere. I should have a license.
You gotta love her, eh? Right. Now, after you go through the stomach, you get into this funny place where we start putting lipase in. Where do we find the lipase? What does lipase do? Lipase goes for lipids, and that means it starts in the small intestines. Nice and easy. Huh? These things are easy. Okay, next one. Where does starch digestion take place? Now, Looney, please answer that for me. Where would starch digestion take place? Because I know you know. As soon as I said it, you shot out and you said, that's exactly where it is.
In the mouth.
Because it's the first place that it starts is in the mouth. Because it's the only
Yes.
place or only thing that breaks down in the mouth is your starch. She's not confident when I ask her a question, but she gets the answers right. It's better than not getting the answers right. Right. So, very nice. She gets it in the mouth. Okay, that's very, very nice. Now, let's have a look at the next one. What protects the walls of the large intestines? Now, I did not tell you this. I was seeing how clever you are. What protects the walls, the inside walls of the large intestines? Come, Looney. I want you to think. In actual fact, I don't know if I should leave that for the viewers,
What's that?
because that's actually a nice question. Hey,
What?
what protects the walls of the large intestines? Protects the walls, because remember, water's being sucked in. Okay, but there's still enzymes. There's still funny things inside there. So we need to protect those walls. I think I should tell them, hey?
Yes, please, because I also want to know.
Okay, it's a mucus.
Oh.
You know, like you get with leaves where they want to stop evaporation and all of that, and they put that waxy layer on the top, right? Okay, now it's similar to that. What it is, it's a mucus that lines the stomach, the large intestines, and it protects it. Okay, so there's a mucus that protects it, which is very, very important. Okay, there is a mucus that protects the large intestines. Okay, very nice. Looney, you with me, girl?
Yes.
Very nice. I'm going to bring this one up as soon as I can get there. Right. Where does, here we go. Where does bowel act? Where does bowel act? In other words, where would you find bowel? Where would it go to? Let's check this. Where does bowel act? On stage, in a theater, in front of a whole crowd. Hey, Looney? That's how you act.
No.
Looney's not happy with the way I'm toy teaching today.
In your intestines.
In your intestines. You reckon it's in your intestines? It's in your duodenum.
Small intestine is still an intestine.
It's right.
Yes.
Duodenum is the beginning part of the intestine, right? You get the duodenum, the duodenum, and the
I don't know that one.
ileum. Right, it's ileum, hey. Tell me what the last one is. Is it an ileum? I want to know if it's an ileum. Give me the three
Ileum.
names of the small intestine. One is duodenum, one is duodenum. Looking for the last one. Let's see what you guys can come up with. Right, this is nice, simple, and easy. Now, you'll notice that all the questions are all round about the same thing. Right, but it's because this is actually a very simple thing. You've got to know your stuff very well. They'll ask it in different ways all the time. So let's see if we can ask it in a different way again. Okay, name the acid found in the stomach. Name the acid found in the stomach. Okay, here we go. I'm not even going to underline anymore. It is hydrochloric acid. Nice, easy, simple. Hey, Lenny? Okay, next one. Name the substance absorbed by the large intestines. What is absorbed by the large intestines? It is water, mineral salts, and starts with a V.
Hey?
Yeah, water, mineral salts, starts with a V.
B.
With a V.
Ah.
Yeah. You get A, B, C, D, E.
Vitamins.
Clever girl. Yeah, we're starting to go down the hole. I don't know if you get a Z. You do, zinc.
Zinc.
See, X.
Uh-uh.
I can't find it. Right. So, water, mineral salts, and vitamins. Very, very, very important. Next one. What is the end product of fat digestion? Okay? The end product. We break down lipids into fatty acids, which are glycerol. Okay, glycerol. Very nice. They're nice and simple. Are you guys getting this? You should be getting this. It should be very easy at the moment. Okay, next one. Come on. Move. There we go. How is roughage broken down? Here we go. This is a good one. I'm going to do this is our last one before I think we go for a break, right? So let's look at this. How is roughage broken down in the large intestines? Okay, what is roughage? Lenny, what is roughage?
Roughage is like fiber.
Yeah. Okay, so what is fiber? What do you think it is?
Ooh.
Try. What do you have to lose?
Roughage, man.
Oh, roughage. What is roughage? What, if you could explain it to me, what would you think it is? Come, try. What do you have? It's plant material, isn't it? It's rough stuff. What does roughage actually do? Can you?
It's
You gotta love it.
yeah. That's what. Yeah.
I love coming here because that does it for me. It's
Yeah. It helps. Yeah. It helps with your digestion.
how? Cleans out, huh?
Yeah.
Cleans out. Now, when it gets to the large intestines, we need to start breaking the stuff down, which is very important. So what we have in our large intestines is we have bacteria that actually break down this plant material. Remember, it's a plant material that we're eating, right? It's a plant material that we need to break down, and the breaking down of it is very, very important. Okay, so if we have a look at it, bacteria breaks down the undigestible plant material.
I think it's time for a break now. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break. Let's not waste any time and get straight back to today's revision lesson. Over to you.
It says here, what is the difference between absorption and assimilation? Right, so let's go through it quickly. Absorption we spoke about just before the break, right? Told you it's breaking it down into smaller molecules, taking it into the small intestines and the large intestines, and taking it into the blood, right? That is absorption, okay? Very important. That's all absorption is. But that doesn't mean that every single organ's got what it needs, does it? Hey, Looney? It doesn't mean that. If I've just absorbed it into the blood, right, that just means that it's going around in circles, circle, circle, all the way. It goes from the heart all the way down to the toes and back to the heart and all the way back down to the head and all over. It's going nowhere. Now, assimilation is what happens when it becomes part of the body. So now we're taking all that stuff and we're taking it into the organs. That is assimilation. Right. So let's have a look. Assimilation. Okay. Firstly, absorption occurs when food enters the body as food molecules pass through a layer of cells, remember, in the small intestines, in the large intestines, when it comes to vitamins and all of that, and water, still absorption, right, stomach, mouth slightly, right, into the body tissues, right, into the body. This occurs with small intestines, which has many villi. Ooh, a villi. What is a villi, Luni?
A what?
A villi. Isn't that village where they have these beautiful houses and you have the river running past it? Huh? Yeah, no, I'm talking rubbish.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Talking absolute. I just see, just to show her that I'm still the man, that she's still got to learn from me. Right? Villi is a small little protrusions that come out of the wall of the intestine. So if I had to, let's see, I'm going to pull this down. There's another question for you, but I'm going to touch here. I'm going to give you a little bit more space. So watch carefully. If this was the wall of the intestine, right? Now, those are the walls. I'm just going to draw one, just to get you going, just slightly, right? That is a single wall. Now, for absorption to take place, it's going to take quite a bit, but I want to increase the amount of absorption. So what do? Is I put this villi in it, right? And it's not a single cell. It's not like a root hair, where root hair is a single cell. This has got many cells. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an eraser. I'm going to erase that part of it, okay? Take the pen back up, and what happens is it comes like this. If I can get there, there we go, there, up, and back down, and there. That's what it looks like. Now watch how it increases the surface area, and it does it all the time. So it's doing this. That's what the villi do. Just increasing surface area over and over and over again. And those little things have special glands like the Bremer gland and the crypts of Libacune and all of those things that can become very, very important, which we'll talk about just now, trust me, right? And that increases surface area so that you can absorb more, right? So that's what the villi is. So you need villi for this part. Very important, okay? Then it says that's a specialized tissue. Then we have a look at assimilation. Right? Now, assimilation occurs when the food molecules become part of the body. Okay? Becomes part of the body. It means it's inside. We use it. It's inside the cells, everywhere we need it. It's what we use it for. That's assimilation. Right? And if we have a look, therefore, absorption happens and it is followed by assimilation. So, absorption, take the food into our stomach, right? Gets absorbed by the small intestine, gets taken around to the organ, and then assimilation takes place when it goes into the organs. Hey, Looney? Happy? Good. Can you explain that in English now?
No, it's fine. You just did it.
You gotta love it, don't you? Right, now, let's carry on. Explain how the structure of villus is related to the role in absorption and transport of products in the digestive system. So now we're having a look at what I was trying to tell you. Remember I was telling you about this villus and what it looks like, right? Now, first of all, it needs, if I'm looking at it, just thinking off the top of my head, for absorption to take place, right, I need something very thin, yes? Okay? Now, if something is very thin, it moves through it quickly. Yes, Looney, hey? I hope you're listening, because I'm going to ask you all the time now.
Okay.
Okay, so concentrate.
Okay.
If with thin walls, something's going to move through it quickly, right? Looney?
Yes.
Good, right. So it's going to go through it quickly. Now, if I have 10 people on this side, and there's only space for 10 people on that side, let's say I've got 20 here, sorry, and I've got only space for 10 people that side. To be able to go, excuse me, through it and then stand on this side, it's going to get packed, isn't it? Right? So I need something to take them away, am I right? So a good blood supply, so every time I step across, I'm gone. So it looks like it needs another 10, and needs another 10, and needs another 10, which means as one comes in, it gets taken away immediately. Whereas if there was very bad blood supply, it wouldn't be able to go across very quickly. And we want it to go quickly, because the quicker it goes, the more we can absorb. You understand? Otherwise, we're going to waste it through feces. Okay, so that's the first thing. Very thin cell walls. Okay, sorry, not very thin cell walls. Very thin tissue or layer, or epidermal tissue. Okay, it needs to have a good blood supply. Also very important. Okay, it needs to have a large surface area, so that's why it comes up and across. Okay, it's also got to have the Bremer gland, for instance. It makes it moist and an alkaline system, right? So that all these enzymes can take place, right? It's got to have the crypts of Livercoon, which is there to replace old and worn out cells. Okay, those things are very, very important. It's also got a thing called a lymph drain, right? Which actually takes all the things that cannot go into the red blood cells, into the veins and arteries. It goes into the lymph, which is going to make it easier. It's too big, so your fatty acids and that goes straight into the lymph vessel. Right, so let's have a look if I know what I'm talking about, which I know I do because I put the notes together. So of course I know what I'm talking about, right? So here we go. Touch. That's it. Let's go. The structure of the villi is very specific. Has to be specific. Okay? Everything has a specific thing. Okay? Firstly, it's a great number of them. Can you remember I made lots and lots and lots and lots? The more there are, the greater the number of, or greater the surface area. The bigger the surface area, the more those, the stuff that needs to be absorbed comes into contact with them. The less there are, the less time they get into contact. Right. Okay? So there's got to be lots. There's an increase in surface area, which is very important, as I was telling you. Right? Then, absorption in the small intestine. This normally happens in the small intestines, right? In addition, the villi also have their own projections. In other words, the villi comes out and they come out a little bit more. So each one is a little bit even more in detail. So it creates more surface area. Right. Okay. Then, those little projections are called microvilli. So they're even smaller. Okay? Even much smaller than that. Okay. Now, there are many microvilli increases the surface area, which we told you again. So have you noticed how surface area is the biggest thing in this whole thing? Okay? It's the biggest one. Okay? The microvilli contains epithelial layers. Remember what I said? That's thin cells. Okay? Epithelial layers, which is also called, right, which is also one layer thick. Okay? It's got to be one layer thick, and the food can pass through them very, very quickly. Very quickly. It's very important to understand that. So the quicker it goes through, the better it is for us. Okay. Then, the blood capillaries, which is also, the blood capillaries in the villi are very close. Okay, they're very close. The closer they are, the better. So that the stuff that we're absorbing doesn't have to travel a long distance to get onto the train, for example. It's as they come through, they're on the train and gone. That's how quick it is. The quicker it is, the better. Okay, so the blood system has got to be very close to it, right? Very close to the epithelial system, the epithelial cells, right? And then the epithelial cells, as I said, the closer it is, the better, and it branches out quite nicely. So when the blood comes in there, it goes close and it branches up close to it to make sure that it's very close. So let's see, increased surface area, big blood supply, very thin cells. That's what makes them very good and adapted to their cells, for their function. Very important. Right, so that there is the question answered quite nicely. Now, next question. Where do most of the fat digestion, here we go, where do most fat digestion occur in the body? Fat digestion. Now, this is a good thing, because I didn't say absorption, and I didn't say just breaking down. I said both. Okay, remember that most of the fat gets broken down inside your stomach. You remember the hydrochloric acid and all that comes along, so it gets broken down there physically, and then it gets put into the small intestines where absorption takes place, and more amylase and all of that gets, not amylase, lipase gets put in and gets broken down, right? So where does it take place? It first takes place in the stomach, as I said, but the absorption takes place in the small intestines. Nice, simple, easy question, right? You just got to try and put one and one together. It's not too difficult. I know you're fine with that. Next one, describe how, so you've got to tell me something. Describe how the small intestine is adapted to perform its function for absorption. Now, hold on. Don't you think that this sounds very similar? Hey? Sounds very similar. So, Luni, tell me a little bit. Let's see if you can answer this one because you're so smart. Right? I want to know how the small intestine is adapted to suit its function.
What? It's because it's small and long.
Okay, so there we go. It's long. I like the long part. Okay,
Oh,
the
you
longer
like
it
the
is,
small
the better, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. What about the inside of it? What does it have in it? I was just talking about it. You see what happens when she doesn't concentrate.
No.
Okay. Gotta love it. The villi.
Oh, yes.
Ah, it's got that.
Okay.
What does it want to do? It increases the surface area. Okay, and it absorbs. It's got a very good blood supply, and it's got all the protease and amylase and the what's that other one? Lipase. All of those things are there to help it do its function. So let's have a look at what I've put here, especially for you. Okay, first of all, the absorption surface must be large, right? So that's why we've made it nice and long. Okay, so it's large. Okay, it is thin and close contact with the substrate. That's why it's so small. Okay, it's not, the small intestine is not made nice and thick, because if I had to stick food down there, right, all this food in the middle, yeah, is not going to be touched. So what we do is we make it thin, and all the food that's in here is going to be absorbed quite easily. That's why it's the small intestines, even though it's the longest one. The large intestines is just water, gets absorbed quite nicely. Okay, small intestines thin but very long, bigger surface area. Right, so that's that one. It must come into contact. Well, it does. It makes it easier to come into contact with all the stuff, with all the substrate that we are being absorbed. Okay, so it has that. Then, it is 7 meters long, as I was saying to you. Nice and long, 7 meters. Can you remember? Luni, how long is a blue whale's?
4 point something kilometers.
4.8. Oh, do you know how long that is? I would die if I had to run that. Hey?
From here to where?
4 kilometers.
Yeah.
Did you ever run long distance at school?
No.
You know athletics track? From start, where you started, you run right, run and back. That's 400 meters.
Oh.
So think how many times you got to run round that to find the 4
fine.
Ks.
It's fine.
It's too long. It's very long.
Very.
Right. Remember, it's got the folds. The walls have folds in it with villi. Very simple, right? Which contain microvilli. That's the big one. Microvilli to create a larger surface area. Surface area is very important in this, especially with the small intestines. Very, very important. Of course, it's got columnar epithelial tissue, and it's only got one layer of it, so that it's nice and thin. It can absorb nicely, right? There we go. And then it has the system. It's a very cool system. Okay, it has a transport system called capillaries and lacteals. Okay, now watch carefully. Let me just give you a quick thing about this. We've got the villi coming up, right? We happy with that? We got the small, let me change color here so we can see what's going on. We've got the blood system coming in, right? And it does that over and over and over and over, and it comes back down and out. That's it. Nice and simple, quickly, am I right? Okay, and then I'm going to choose white if I can find it. Okay, it's got a lacteal coming in up and down, a lacteal coming in to take the proteins and lipids and all of that. That's roundabout what it looks like. That's a quick draw. You need to know how to draw this, right? So it's got one of those to get everything that we need, right? Now, what else does it have? Villi move with the aid of muscles, so that it moves, so it can move the stuff around, so it can actually absorb a lot quicker. Okay, need to be able to move, and remember the peristalsis movement also does it. As the muscles contract, the villi are going to move out of the way. Okay, that's the whole point, or that's what makes the small intestine so important to us, and how it helps with absorption. Hey, Luni?
We've come to the end of today's show. Thanks for joining me and for chatting to me during the show. Remember to visit our website, learn.mindset.co.za, to get the notes and to watch the videos from the term. Goodbye.